Hi there, people. I'm just going to have a bit of a rant. This was something I noticed a few weeks ago. That young black lady that got killed by the police. It's something quite disturbing, which I saw, and that is the amount of black men that couldn't wait to make videos, leaving disgusting comments in the comment section, happy that this young black lady had been killed by the police. Now, the reason I'm going to bring this up is because it's an observation that I've noticed. I've been on YouTube on and off for just slightly over a year in regards to making videos. Now, this is something that I've noticed that seems to be very prevalent in only America. Because one thing I've never seen is anyone from the UK making videos praising a black woman being killed. And I think it's due to the fact that a lot of American men, black American men, are weak. Not all, I didn't say all, but there are enough weak black men that it's noticeable. One thing you won't ever see are men of other races throwing their women under the bus like that. It was disgusting. These men, and this is one thing I've noticed about these men that come out with these kind of videos. I have to say this, I didn't want to say it, but I'm just going to point out the elephant in the room. A lot of these black men who come out with these kind of videos praising black women being killed, or just have this disdain for black women, you know what, one thing I've noticed? They're all ugly. I'm yet to see a good-looking man, good-looking black man, come out with a video as disgusting as theirs. They're all ugly and socially awkward, or some of them aren't so ugly. Well, they're not attractive, but they're very socially awkward. Now, when I say attractive, I'm talking about as men, we know when another man's good-looking, another man that can get women. Now, looking at these men, I could tell that growing up, they found it hard to get women, especially black women. Now, the reason I believe, judging from the way they speak and act, is they grew up in low economic areas, like poverty. Yeah, I'd say poverty-stricken areas in the US. So they only had access to other black women. So here in the UK, you can have access to women of all races, no matter where you live. You can have access to women of all races. Whereas in America, there are a lot of racial problems anyway, coupled with the fact that there are certain areas, predominantly black, which are low income. So the only option they did have would have been black women. So clearly, if black women were not attracted to them for whatever reason, they wouldn't have been getting any sex. Now, when men aren't getting sex, they build up a lot of aggression, frustration, pent up, emotions. And this is how these black men that I see on YouTube, this is how they're releasing their emotions, by making ridiculous videos praising the murder of black women. Now, I've never seen any other race of men doing this kind of thing, and it's quite disgusting, and I sure as hell haven't even seen black men in the UK behaving like this. This is an American issue, and I'll bring it back to, I believe, another reason why there are so many weak black men in America who do these kind of things. And I'd say the racism in America is worse than the racism in the UK, for instance. So black men, let's be honest, white men are in charge when it comes to America. Now, black men have this kind of machismo. They want to be in charge. They want to be the tough guy, that kind of thing. So when they live in a system where, let's face it, they're the weakest of all men in their own country, say the weakest of those weak black men, what they do is they need a victim. They need to take it out on someone. So what better than to take it out on women who don't find them attractive? That's black women. Now, a lot of the men on there, they're complaining. They say, oh, it's all about white women, fuck black women, that kind of thing. But the problem is, white women aren't interested in them either. To be quite honest, women of any races aren't interested in them. A, because they're just not attractive, they're not financially stable, and they're socially awkward. When you get online and you start wishing death on black women and you're praising that kind of thing, that says that you've got issues, some serious issues. So you put down black women, you try and say other women of every other race are better, but you can't get women of every other race anyway. So you're kind of frustrated that the only women that you might have access to don't want you. And I think it's very sad and pathetic. So I apologize to you, black women, that you have to put up with this kind of thing. And the sad thing is, when black women get fed up of being put in this position and being disrespected like this, clearly they're going to turn to men of other races, which they do. And again, this same bitter black men who tell other black men to date women of every other race, they won't leave these black women alone. So even when black women want to go and do their own thing, then they're coming out with videos abusing them, calling them Negro bed wenches. Well, I don't blame them. When you've got a plethora of black men online wishing death on black women and constantly abusing them, why wouldn't they want to go and date men of other races? That's what the bloody hell they should be doing. Why would they want to waste their time with such a bunch of pathetic, spineless morons like yourself on here who just sit around just looking for any excuse to put down black women? It's like some of you guys really need to sort yourselves out. And that's how I know you guys just aren't getting sex. Because it doesn't matter what time of the day, I can just go online and there's always the same group of men complaining about the same things. And that's how I know you're not getting sex. Because men who are attractive to women, they're not doing what you're doing. Complaining about women, bitching about women, telling women, making up stories that white men only want black women for sex and don't get me wrong, there are plenty of I'm sure there are plenty of men of other races who have certain fetishes for black women, but I'm sure a lot of the black women who are actually married to white men and have children are in happy relationships. They may have other ideas, they may say different things to yourselves. What you guys need to do is seriously sort yourselves out. You're coming across as very bitter. You're coming across as bitter black women with a high amount of estrogen inside you. This isn't how men behave. If you, a lot of you guys, you black men that put down black women, you do praise white men, and that's understandable. Let's be honest, white men are in charge. That's just how it is. As a group, they are in charge. So what you should do is take a leaf out their book. You don't see them online bitching about white women. Even if you look at Oriental, Asian men, that kind of thing, they're ahead of black men. And you know what they don't do? They don't sit online bitching about their women. They go out into the world, make no excuses for themselves. They go out there and work. They put their brains to good use. Okay, so I think a lot of you black men need to do the same. This whole moaning about black women thing, it's old. Okay, if you don't want black women, shut the fuck up about black women. Go and get a woman of another race. Well, oh, that's right, you can't even do that. Okay, because if you can't get black women, and black women are the most forgiving when it comes to black men, you sure as hell can't get white women, Asian, or any other kind of woman. So I think it's quite sad. I shouldn't really need to make this video, but I was just disgusted that black men in America are so weak. You're sitting up there, no shame, just saying these things about a black woman being killed. No other race of people throw their own under the bus in that kind of way. It's disgusting, it's disgraceful. And it says a lot about the relationships a lot of these men probably had with their mothers, and the lack of relationships they had with women around their age growing up, and also the lack of sex they must be getting. It's very sad. I suggest you guys go to the gym, go out a bit more, stop spending so much time on YouTube, and go and talk to women. If you can't do it naturally, then instead of spending your hours every day looking up videos of men who hate black women, use some of that time to, I don't know, look up videos on I don't know, how to talk to women or do something, because you obviously need help. It's very disturbing and there's something wrong with a lot of you. So please try and be more proactive in the time you spend on YouTube. Anyway, black women, I do have to apologize, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and be more positive, try and bring something positive to black women, because you have to tolerate quite a lot of bullshit, and I feel quite sorry for you. Anyway, that's the end of that. Black men, try and do better and start acting like men.